Hi, I'm Ben, Product Ambassador for Bering Optics, and today is December 12, 2025. Bering's asked that I introduce to you their new 384 thermal resolution rifle scope, the Hogster ZAP. The Hogster ZAP is on this AR-15 in front of me, and we plan to do a range review today where I'll show you how to zero the unit at 100 yards, and then we'll try to stretch it out to 200 yards. The Hogster ZAP represents an entry-level scope that has many of the features that you would find on upper-level scopes or higher-priced units. Right up front, the minimum advertised price from Bering on this is $18.75. However, at the time of filming this, Bering has told me that they're offering it at a retail price of $13.25 for a limited time. Call it an introductory price, call it a holiday season price, call it what you will. But what I call it is the best value in thermal at this time. This price, $13.25 for everything that you get in the scope, should make all 256 and lower resolution scopes obsolete. Should make all scopes with 25mm and lower size lenses obsolete. The Hogster ZAP has a 35mm, 100% germanium front lens. Has manual focus on the front here, top dead center, good for right or left hand operation. It has two 18350 battery cells that give you 5 hours of runtime. Those 18350s are replaceable. You can use rechargeables, but no proprietary battery system and no internal battery that could go dead and then you have a problem servicing it. A 1440 by 1080 near-eye display, 6 color palettes, multiple profiles on board, one-shot zeroing, 4-year fully transferable warranty, parts and labor. Everything I just read off for $13.25. It's unbelievable. Again, the Hogster ZAP, designed by Bering Optics, priced for all hunters. All right, so to get the range review started, before we get shooting, just a couple of considerations and techniques that I use to make this a successful endeavor. Rifle and ammo considerations. It is my advice that you utilize a known, proven rifle ammo combination before you start using new technology that has to do with thermal or night vision. Ordinarily, the shooter's ability to place precise shots with thermal scopes versus day optics traditional glass is not as high. It's not as easy to do. Mainly because the aiming points, like today, I'll be using this chemical hand warmer. So just the size of this and how it blooms on the target media and the aiming point that it provides is a little bit more difficult to see and get a precise aim point on versus traditional day optics, traditional targets. So the 223 that I'll be shooting today, I've previously shot it with the Hogster ZAP, and what I was able to achieve, this is a 15-shot group up here that measures 2 by 2 inches. So a 2-inch spread at 100 yards, and that's 15 shots, is what I've been able to achieve. Is that outstanding? No. Is it good enough for hog hunting? Yes. What I ordinarily get with a day scope is 1.25 to 1.5 inch spread. So with the thermal, I see about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch increase in my overall group size. And to me, that's normal, that's ordinary, that's consistent with my experience with thermal scopes, all thermal scopes in the past, high-end, mid-range, low, entry-level scopes. So just getting that right out front, it's my advice you use a known, proven rifle ammo combination, and you have reasonable expectations of accuracy when implementing thermal technology on rifles. I'll boot up the scope. Now, the internal recording, it does show the reticle, but anytime you try to enter the menu, it doesn't show you any of the menu. It freezes you out from being able to access the menu. So the internal recording is not going to help me relay to you how to zero this scope. So I've brought the camera with me that I'm recording right now, and I'm actually going to adapt it behind the eyepiece, and that's how I'll convey to you and illustrate to you how to use the freeze frame and make the adjustments to zero the scope. I'll also be applying external battery pack and a brass catcher. So this connects right up here and connects with USB-C. So if you see this in the video, that's what that is. And double bagged front and back, suppressed, and just ready to hit the range, so let's do it. All right, we're going to start at 50 yards today using a large poster board as a backer, and then aiming at that chemical hand warmer right there. So we'll take 2 shots, and then we'll adjust 0 at 50 before we move to 100. All right, there's our target board placed at 50 yards. I'll enter the menu again. I'm not recording using the onboard video because it does not show the menus in the recorded video output. So in order to zero the Hogster ZAP, you go to page 2 of the menu, and there is a reticle selection. Okay, so you enter the reticle menu, and your first choice is reticle, and this is a number value 1 through, I'll go ahead and cycle through here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then off. So 1 is a working, 0 I already have for 100 yards, but to show you how to zero the scope, I'm going to enter a blank reticle. So that is reticle 2 of profile A, and then the type is going to be the actual reticle itself. So cycling through these, I'll go ahead and pick something simple like that, and then of course color. And I've already predetermined that eventually I want to end up at 200 yards with a 0. So I've got that in there. Then you see the freeze option, which we'll use in just a second. The zoom, you can do progressive zoom zeroing. I'll start at 1 times, it's plenty enough at 50 yards. And then you see Y and X is at 0, 0, meaning it's the fresh factory 0 for this optic. So of note is the upper right under the battery meter, you'll see A2-200, and that's to reference quickly for the shooter which profile you're in, which reticle number you're on, and what distance you have preset. And the user selects all those during this process. Alright, so I'm going to take 2 shots at 50 yards, and then we'll go down, mark them, come back and make our first adjustments. Alright, so back here at 50, I went ahead and took 4 shots since I forgot to record the first 2. So our point of aim was this center chemical warmer, and our 4 impacts are up here in the upper right of this target board. So what I plan to do is paste another chemical hand warmer at the points of impact, go back to the scope, freeze the image, and dial to the points of impact. Let's do that now. Alright, we're back at the bench behind the rifle, and we're going to enter the menu again, page 2. Reticle 2, XY00, and we are going to freeze the image once I get my point of aim back where it was, which is right about there. Alright, the image is frozen, so we'll adjust Y using the forward and back keys. And it's just at the top there. And then the right and left keys. Alright, we've made those adjustments. And now we will press the middle menu button, and it'll save them. And now we will take 3 shots at 100 yards and mark our impacts there and do the same thing. Alright, downrange at 100 yards, clean target board. And I've pasted over the 50-yard shots, so we'll now take 3 shots at 100 yards. Alright, so here we are at 100, took 3 shots, and typical for that rifle and ammo is the 2-inch spread, so no concerns there for me for this rifle and ammo. So I'm right, and since I want to go to 200 yards next, I'll paste another hot hands 2 inches below the average of those 3 shots, and I'll make my adjustments to that hot hands knowing that I'll be 2 inches high at 100 as a result. So we'll shoot and we'll verify that after the next adjustment. That way when we move to 200 we should be dancing right around 1 or 2 click adjustment for final. Alright, here we are back at the bench, 100 yards. We'll get that reticle pretty close to where the aim point was. Now this is a little bit more difficult because the adjustment's more minute. So using 3 hands here, I'll try to make right there. I'll freeze it, come down, and then I want to come lower on purpose. Right about there. Should produce, the next group should be 1.5 inches high at 100. So I'll lock these in. Alright, take my shots. Alright, so results are in, and we are tracking correctly with the adjustments that I'm making using the freeze frame and dialing X and Y to the points of impact. So these shots did elevate. They're a little more far right than I like, but I'm going to go ahead and move to 200, and I'm going to remove and go back to just the one chemical warmer. I'll patch these holes. At 200, I would suspect we'll be right, and we'll need another final adjustment on windage, but it's the elevation that I'd really like to see what's going to happen here, being high at 100. Here we go. We're at 200 yards. I'll take 5 shots, 2-inch spread at 100. I'm expecting 4 to 5-inch spread at 200, hence 5 shots. And we'll kind of go, if there's a couple more so together, we'll use that for the next adjustment. I went ahead and decided to do my tripod because this is a realistic hunting situation. I want to know if this rifle and ammo and scope are going to be capable for me at 200 yards. If I'm printing 8 to 10 inch groups at 200 with this setup, probably going to want to be 150 or in. So it's all information that I'm collecting along the way of zeroing. Hopefully I can get it 4 to 5 inch spread. All right, 5 shots. All right, 200 yards, 5 shots. That spread is expected. That would have been a poor shot on my behalf. Is there anything usable here? And I would say yes. I would say my elevation's actually okay. And because we were right at 100, we were more right at 200. So I'll paste the other hot hands there, go back and make an adjustment and try to focus and settle in a little bit more for the final shots. All right, I'm going to make the adjustments. I've already illustrated what that looks like. At the 100 yard distance, it's the same at 200 yards. So I'll enter the menu. Pretty hard to get steady, to freeze it on a very fine, precise point. I'll try to lock it in as best I can here. All right, I've made the adjustment. 5 more shots. And I'm going to try to get really, really steady here. Make sure I'm solid on the tripod. All right, so before we get to wrapping it up here today, 200 yards, 5 shots, 200 yards, 5 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 over here. Spread of 4 of the 5 is 4 inches, so acceptable for these 4. I'm going to go ahead and go make one final adjustment where I bring this down and to the right, about equal value. I'd like at least 3 of them to hit out of 5 somewhere in this taped off area. That'd be a good vital size on a coyote or a pig. Not really headshot, but CNS or shoulder shots. All right, so that's zeroing the Hogster ZAP at 200. I'll post some photos here to show you the final results. Once I get it adjusted where I want it, I'll take about 10 shots and post those pictures as well. Call your dealer, call Bering, get pricing, availability, all that good stuff. Hogster ZAP 2025.
This is the menu of the Hogster ZAP, which is a new 2025 Bering Optics thermal scope, rifle scope. And we'll start on the main screen. You'll have your reticle in the dead center. Upper left, time and date. Magnification, top dead center. Right now, 1x native magnification. Upper right, battery level indicator. And then below it is your profile and distance setting for a quick reference. You press the middle menu button, and that will enter the menu. And we'll just scroll through the menu first. I believe it's 3 pages. Page 2 and page 3. So quite an extensive menu on this first selection. False color stands for color palette. In order to select it, you would push the right key on the scope. It's now highlighted, and then you would cycle through with the forward and back buttons. And there are 6 different color palettes. When you're done there, you just hit the left key to back out of it. Second item is zoom. If you wanted to zoom using the menu, you can do that here through the 4 various, and watch the top dead center. You got 1x native, 2x, 4x, 8x, back to native. Third selection, LCD brightness. Pretty self-explanatory. 1 to 10 are your settings there. Image brightness. I believe there's also 10 settings there. Let's take a quick look. Yep. And continuing on, image contrast. Again, 10 settings. Scene mode, we have standard, custom, jungle, and city. And calibration, also known as NUC, nuke. You have 2 choices, or 3 choices, I'm sorry, scene, manual calibration, and automatic. I'll leave it on automatic. So that's page 1 of the Hogster ZAP menu. Going to page 2. Hotspot detection on and off. Picture in picture. On and off. The zoom of picture in picture is going to be twice whatever your native magnification is. So 2x would be the current picture in picture if you're on 1x native. Turn that off. IMU. Reticle group. So these are profiles. Watch the upper right under the battery meter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different profiles. We'll leave it on A1. Then your reticle menu, click on that. Click the menu key to enter the submenu. So under A, you can set your distances to be different, but essentially under each profile, you're going to have 6. Hit menu to cycle through those. So right there, 200 yards is reticle 2. Reticle 3, the user could set that to 300 yards if you wanted to. So within every profile, A through F, you then have 6 options for different distances. Quite a lot of versatility and utility to the reticle settings. You could set that distance at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 500 and simply just cycle to your profile for that stated distance. You could choose to do 5 different grain weights if you wanted to within a certain. So if A1 was like 223, you could select 5 different grain weights and have a different reticle profile for each. So when you go to type within any one of those and then hit menu, that's where you'll see the 6 different reticles. Color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different colors. Freeze will be used when you're doing one-shot zero, so you have a point of aim as a hot spot. You take a shot wherever your point of impact is. You could freeze it and then adjust your reticle. You'll see my Y and X values there. This already has been zeroed for 223. So then after you freeze it, you go down to your Y and your X and you move the reticle over the point of impact, and then you save your settings. So you can also, while you're zeroing, use different zooms if you like. So I'm going to press and hold the menu button to back out of this. And we'll cancel that since it's my working 0. Page 2, second from bottom is language, and then the final selection is photo. Page 3, top, video. I'll show you any videos that are saved onto the scope. Same would be for pictures. Press the menu key to go back. Time and date. Menu key to enter. And you can set your format and all of those such things. Pixel correction or bad point correction. Settings. You can choose what the power key does. When you press the power key, you can mess with some other settings here. Auto shutdown time, record time, and picture-in-picture position. But essentially those are the 6 settings options. Press and hold menu to get out of that. And then finally device info, firmware, hardware, software, all the version numbers are going to be in there. Alright, and then you can press and hold menu to go back to the main screen. And then to finish up, there are 4 directional buttons on the top of the scope: forward, back, left, right, and the middle menu. If you click the left key, you'll see the brightness changing. So left directional when not in the menu is the brightness of the screen. The forward directional button is going to save a picture. You see the picture flash in the bottom, and then you press and hold to record, and that tells you you're recording a video. And then the right directional is your color palettes. And then your back directional button is your zoom: 2 times, 4 times, 8 times, and 1 time. So you'll have to scroll through all the zooms to get back to native zoom. And then we have the power key set that when I press it once, it turns the screen off. Press it quickly and it comes back. So sort of a standby mode to save battery. And that is the menu of the Hogster ZAP.